Welcome everyone to today's webinar on HubSpot for Real Estate, how the Canadian real estate industry can leverage a fully integrated customer platform to grow efficiently. Let's kick things off with a quick overview of what we'll be covering today. We'll discuss the importance of leveraging a fully integrated customer platform in the real estate industry and highlight how HubSpot can streamline process and drive growth. Let's start by looking at our agenda. First, we'll discuss the state of the Canadian real estate market. Then we'll talk about how consolidating your tech stack can reduce costs and improve efficiency. Next, we'll explore how HubSpot is the ideal solution for real estate and how to build a business case for it. Lastly, we'll share a customer success story to illustrate the impact of using HubSpot in the real estate industry. But before we jump into the details, let me introduce myself. I'm Rich, and I'll be your host for today's webinar. And joining me is Rebecca Zaliki, Senior Customer Success Manager at HubSpot. So as I said before, my name is Richard. I am the CEO at Six and Flow, and we are a HubSpot partner, and we work alongside people like Rebecca at HubSpot to make sure customers are getting the most out of the HubSpot platform. I'm fully aware that you are not here to learn about Six and Flow, so I'll keep this brief, but I do want to give us a bit of context about who we are and why you're listening to me today. But we are a HubSpot elite agency, which basically means we're the top tier in the HubSpot ecosystem. We have offices in Toronto, Manchester, London, and Dublin. We've been a partner since 2015, and since 2021, we've been the #1 global independent HubSpot partner. We support high growth clients in the real estate, B2B tech, and SaaS and professional services spaces with their go-to-market needs from strategic marketing, RevOps, and through to CRM integrations. Some of our clients in the space: Cabot, Lendlease, Union Homes, JTG Holdings, BGO, and Bidwells. So let's dive into the challenges that real estate leaders face when striving to scale efficiently and predictably. You might be asking yourself, how can we increase engagement and adoption rates of technology? Or perhaps, how can we streamline our operations and decision-making process by better connecting people, processes, and tech? And the big one, what's the next step to improving operational efficiency? These are questions go-to-market leaders are often grappling with in order to drive predictable growth. In a poll conducted by Active Rain, the world's largest online real estate community, they uncovered that the most successful real estate agents are approximately 2 times as likely to adopt CRM and lead management solutions when compared to their less successful peers. 67% of those surveyed said they thought having a CRM in place was critical to succeeding, and 47% said they are currently not centralizing their business data, which shows there's a huge gap to develop a competitive advantage. When things have been done one way for some time, managing change can be tough and the promised land can seem far away. So how do you go from inconsistent communications, limited visibility, and difficulty reporting to instead a state where cross-functional, namely marketing and sales collaboration, is achieved and customer data is captured as a single source of truth? What do you do when cost of acquiring customers increases and pressures and new tools pop up? You need to look to consolidation and alignment. In an industry that's getting digitally transformed rapidly, lack of personalization and lead management can feel like big tasks, but imagine instead being able to deliver personalization at scale. And legacy tech and mentality of growth at all costs can quickly lead to overhiring and manual processes that are time consuming, and imagining a platform that your whole team can use will help get you past those points. In this race of digital transformation, where everyone is chasing scale, without the right tools in place, we start to see the customer experience deteriorate and the internal frictions rise as we scramble to put out the fires around us. And that's where the growth starts to tail off and the revenues begin to fall. How do you scale efficiently and predictably, sorry. Imagine a world where your sales and marketing teams work in sync, following a streamlined process. Visualize having nurturing emails, sales templates, and automations at your fingertips, helping to drive new listings and sales. Bringing together your sales and marketing tech stacks gives you a picture perfect sales pipeline visibility for each stage in your process. Think about accurate, up-to-date reporting that requires minimal manual effort. Imagine visualizing your full lead journey and results in a single platform. We soon begin to see how these ideal states can help drive efficient growth across your sales and marketing push. Over to you, Rebecca. I think I've talked enough.
Beauty. Thanks, Rich. So now let's explore how to consolidate your tech stack to really reduce costs and improve efficiency by focusing on the why and the what that we're trying to achieve. So, in an ideal world, we know that the customer journey is a simple progression from being an anonymous to becoming a promoter, with each stage seamlessly transitioning into the next. However, we know that the reality of the customer journey is oftentimes far from straightforward and very rarely follows a linear path. Next slide. Following the customer journey is more like navigating a winding path filled with unexpected twists and turns, where customers may encounter hurdles, uncertainties, and competing priorities along the way. So, factors such as changing market dynamics, evolving customer preferences, and unforeseen challenges can oftentimes disrupt the smooth flow of this journey. Next slide, Rich. Moreover, the modern landscape of the digital interaction adds another layer of complexity. So, for example, in the real estate industry, we know that a prospect can see an ad or a billboard, then visit a broker's office, maybe watch a showing on YouTube. Then, after, they might receive a marketing email, and then perhaps schedule an in person showing after finally becoming a customer. We know that with a myriad of touch points and channels available, customers can engage with businesses in diverse ways, making it challenging to really orchestrate a cohesive and consistent experience across all interactions. So, to truly optimize your operations and achieve maximum efficiency, it's imperative that we enhance the connectivity between people, processes, and technology across various facets of your business. This interconnectedness is essential, spanning from the initial stages of business development to the intricacies of project execution and extending through the ongoing management of clients, talent, or tenants. Now, let's revisit the intricate landscape of the customer journey and explore how various tools play pivotal roles at different stages. Tools for content, messaging, automation, reporting, and data play critical roles at different stages of the customer journey. And by leveraging these tools effectively, businesses can create engaging experiences, nurture relationships, and drive meaningful outcomes throughout the customer lifecycle. At the outset of the customer journey, compelling content serves as the gateway to engagement. And as customers progress along their journey, personalized and timely communication becomes essential.
So I think we're actually just going to launch a poll on that just to ask everybody. You should see it up on your screen now, and you can see it on my screen as well. The like, how many tools are you currently using across your sales and marketing journey? So like, are you using, like, if you look at what you've got here, are you using a CRM? Are you using a marketing tool? What are you using for automation? What are you bringing in from the reporting side? Just out of interest, how many tools are you currently having your stack, and then start to think about what it takes to manage those, what you need in place to make sure that you're getting the most out of those tools. So it looks like 3 to 5 seems to be the kind of the average, although 6 to 8's got quite a lot as well. So quite a lot of tech is going into the your GTM processes at the moment. Sorry to cut you off there, Rebecca.
All good. Not surprised to hear that 3 to 5, 6 to 8 are some of the averages. Yeah. Awesome. Next slide. So, as the customer journey unfolds, marketing, sales, service, and operations automation tools play a crucial role in streamlining processes and really enhancing efficiency. Data driven insights are essential for optimizing performance and driving informed decision making, and data management solutions help businesses capture, organize, and leverage customer data effectively. The problem is when different tools are employed across the marketing and sales journey, data oftentimes becomes siloed within each platform. Customer information, interactions, and insights are scattered across multiple systems, making it difficult to gain a comprehensive view of the customer. Additionally, operating with disconnected tools results in duplicated efforts, inefficiencies, and may also impede scalability and adaptability. In summary, the use of disconnected tools across the marketing and sales journey presents significant obstacles to achieving seamless, efficient operations and delivering exceptional customer experiences. So, to overcome these challenges and unlock greater success, businesses must prioritize integration and invest in comprehensive, unified solutions that facilitate collaboration, streamline processes, and drive meaningful outcomes across the entire customer lifecycle. And that's where HubSpot comes in. One single platform designed to put your customers first. Next slide. HubSpot platform is created for growth by providing a unified platform that brings together marketing, sales, and CRM functionalities into a single cohesive ecosystem. So by centralizing all customer interactions and data in one place, businesses can break down silos, improve collaboration, and gain a holistic view of their customers, which ultimately makes it easy for your teams to align, adopt, and adapt, as you can see here. HubSpot's Marketing Hub provides a comprehensive set of tools for attracting visitors, converting leads, and nurturing customer relationships, while Sales Hub, the tools allow businesses to streamline their sales processes, automate repetitive tasks, and close deals more efficiently. So to recap, HubSpot's platform is purpose-built for growth, offering a seamless and scalable solution for businesses looking to attract, engage, and delight customers across the entire customer lifecycle. With its integrated suite of tools, HubSpot empowers businesses to achieve their growth objectives and thrive in today's competitive landscape by enabling businesses to attract profitable clients, offer real-time views on product performance, manage buyers, sellers, and pipelines, track prospects' listings, and capture feedback and reviews. So, by building and nurturing relationships, that really does lie at the heart of driving exceptional customer experiences, and HubSpot makes it easy to do just that.
So HubSpot is designed to be a CRM platform, so something that sits at the center of your GTM stack, basically. So it's important to then make sure that we're able to bring in the other tools that you use as a business into that. So it's feeding the data in a way that is usable and not bringing in other layers of admin and management. So you'll recognize some of these. So things like DocuSign, Stripe, UHomes, Dropform, Realtor. So these tools, we're able to bring that data into HubSpot so you can start to see it within your CRM. So we can start to segment, we can start to target and start to go to market in a unified way without having to bring in those extra layers of management on top. So we've got a video here. We're just going to quickly give you a demonstration of how HubSpot can be used in the real estate sector.
HubSpot is a powerful tool for the real estate industry, allowing you to plan, deliver, and track your marketing campaigns and attribute these campaigns to new records in your CRM and revenue. So let's dive into HubSpot to see what it can do. Beginning at the core of your CRM, we have your contact object. Here we can see all of your contacts and their associated properties, such as contact information. We can use the advanced filters at the top to surface information most relevant to members of our team. That might be that the area that your contact's in and they're looking to purchase, or where they're selling from, and perhaps their budget range that they've set aside for the project. You can then save these views for quick reference and assign different views to different members of the team. And now let's take a look at an individual record page. On the left-hand side, you can see demographic data about the contact. Again, this is their contact information or any custom properties that you've added into the system to collect the most relevant and useful information. In the center, we have a 360 view of the contact's activity. In this case, we can see that our sales rep has added 2 tasks to follow up with the contact and to send them a floor plan. Here, we'd also be able to see any tracked emails, calls, and meetings that the rep has had with the contact. And we could also see any notes that they've left themselves or other members of the team. On the right, we have associated information. So this is our companies, or perhaps if you bring in a custom object for your properties, they would all sit here associated with the contact. Anywhere that is blue on HubSpot is a clickable link. So because all of this information is associated, we can then click on the contact on the company and instantly see the company record. The layout is exactly the same, so it's really easy for your team to become familiar with the system. Again, we see demographic information, metrics and activity, and associated information on the right. All of these columns are customizable, so once again, you can surface only the relevant information to your team to make them as efficient as possible. So now we have our contacts and our companies, we can manage them using HubSpot Lists. That sits under Contacts here. For your campaign, you might be looking to book contacts in for viewings for different properties. In this case, we've created a list that filters in everyone who completes a form to book a specific viewing. You can also use your lists to sort your CRM database however you see fit. It takes all of those thousands of records and puts them into bite-sized usable chunks that you can either enroll in workflows, use for your reporting, for your activity, your campaigns, and your sales reps, or you could also use it to keep your database clean and highlight anyone who's missing certain properties or perhaps has been in your system for a bit too long without any interaction. So now as your real estate sales rep or marketing team, you've got your contacts, you've got your companies and your lists. What are you going to do with them? Let's head over to Marketing Hub first. So in Marketing Hub, we have our advertising, email features, landing pages, SMS texting, social media, websites, so your CMS if you wish to have it in HubSpot, with blog and SEO tools. And all of this can then be connected into campaigns to give you a place to go to for a single source of truth. Below campaigns, we also have files and templates to host all of your assets, and lead capture, where you build your all-important calls to actions and your forms. There's a lot to dive in there, so we'll focus on campaigns for today. In campaigns, you can set up unique folders to link in all of your assets and track the performance of your campaign. Here on the home of this specific campaign, we can see the top of funnel statistics such as sessions and contacts being created. As the report fills out, we'll also see revenue attribution so that we can attribute revenue to our most successful campaigns and go in and analyze why other campaigns might not be working. There's an attribution tab for deeper reporting, assets, which we'll click into in a moment, tasks, so you can help to project manage your campaign. So here we can say today we've got a billboard and a Google ad campaign going live that we need to get working on. You can also set our budget for the campaign to ensure that they're being profitable and see the general activity around the campaign by each of our reps. So if we look into assets, we can see everything that we can connect here, and it's pretty extensive. We've got blog posts, calls to actions, emails, forms, landing pages, social media posts, and static lists at the bottom. Emails and landing pages are pretty powerful tools in HubSpot. They're drag and drop, so they're really easy to use and apply all of your branding to. Our landing pages in particular can be branded to reflect your normal website and not change the browsing experience at all. Two of the best features for these two tools is our smart content. So when you create your lists, you might create two lists saying that you have a group of customers with a high budget and a group of customers with a low budget. You could then create one email or one landing page and use smart content to serve different content to each of these user groups so that it better reflects the terminology and the expected budget that they want to see. This helps cut down on admin for your team, streamlines reporting, but still gives all of your customers a personalized experience. Another great feature of HubSpot Marketing Hub is the blog and SEO tools. Let's click into there. So for all of the pages that you have connected, HubSpot will quickly analyze the SEO of them. But one of our favorite tools is topics. Here we can create campaigns centered around pillar pages. So in this case, if you have a pillar page for 1, 2, and 3 bedroom condos, you can then attach all of your longer tail blog posts and articles to this central post to ensure that you're pushing any traffic that way and improving your overall rank in Google. So you're nurturing your contacts, they're pushing through their life cycle stages. Now we want to use automation and workflows to manage these contacts and take away the heavy lifting from your team. Workflows like lists can help you to sort out your admin automatically, to push data from different systems or different areas of HubSpot, update properties. In this case, we have a client allocation based on postal codes. Here we can see that the workflow looks at the postcode of the new contact. It assesses all of the different contact owners for each postal code that you've set up, and then assigns that contact to that contact owner. We could then extend these workflows or create a second workflow to send an email to the contact owner to say that they have a new lead or prospect in their region. But this really just scratches the top of what we can do with workflows. So now our leads are nurtured and a deal could be on the table. Let's go take a look at Sales Hub. Here we have our sales pipeline with our forecasted revenue and each of our pipeline stages for our deals to pass through. You can customize these pipeline stages to reflect your business's unique sales process. You can also add workflows behind each of these stages to update certain properties or inform certain people in the business as deals move through the stages. For example, if a deal's been in a stage for too long, you could send a notification to the owner to follow up on it. You can also add required properties to each of these pipeline stages to stop deals being pushed forward before the relevant information has been collected. Just like our contacts and our companies, you can use the advanced filters to save views and quickly surface relevant information for different people in your team. Now, Sales Hub has a lot of useful features, but there are two that we'll mention today, and those are playbooks and sequences. Playbooks sit under sales. Playbooks coach your sales reps through sales conversations. Here's one about qualification. This one in particular helps sales reps qualify a potential lead and encourages them to collect consistent and clean information through question and answer sessions and properties embedded into the playbook. All of these, again, are completely customizable, or you can use HubSpot's templates to speed up your playbook creation. Coming out of playbooks, we can also go into sequences and automation. When a sales rep has a lead, instead of sending marketing emails that seem a bit cold and not personal, they can instead roll them in a sequence. Sequences, again, will report on how many people have been enrolled and how they've engaged, but this time it'll send native-looking emails to the contact that appear to come from the sales rep own inbox, but are tracked and automated. As soon as the contact responds, they'll be taken out of the sequence and the rep can continue talking to them in a natural way. So finally, once we've used these features, we've got our pipeline up and running, and we've got a healthy pipeline going, we can begin to look at reporting. You can have multiple dashboards in HubSpot, and you can lock down these view and edit permissions for different members of the team. Let's begin with inbound marketing. So here we've used a text box at the beginning to surface quick reference links and summaries of our current campaigns and targets. We've then got a summary of the life cycle stages, funneling through on our campaigns, website visits, social interactions by network, email statistics, and blog posts by views. We can also navigate over to the sales dashboard, where we can see activity of all of our different sales reps, how many contacts are being created at which deal stage, our forecasted revenue, and our closed revenue, and other useful reports. All of these can be customized. You can create your own reports, and you can create as many different dashboards or filter all of these reports by different properties such as location, sales rep, time. So that just about scratches the surface of how HubSpot can be used to support your marketing funnel and sales pipeline in the real estate industry. We've hopefully given you an overview of its powerful feature set and hope you enjoy learning about the rest of the features.
I feel like I should thank Poppy somehow in that, but we'll move on.
HubSpot is a powerful tool.
There we go. So transforming your business and making the most out of your people, processes, and technology takes energy, effort, and corporate motivation. So very quickly, if you're ready to ramp up your tech stack and grow revenues, here's how we suggest you get started. First off, you need to think about what it is you're trying to achieve, what limitations you have, and what functionality or support would get you moving in the right direction. There's a lot of elements to take into account, and a CRM platform has a lot of moving parts. We've got an RFP tool that you can use to assess HubSpot against some of the other options in the market. We'll send that around afterwards, but it's a very useful tool to help you understand what it is you need out of the system and what you should be trying to bring on board. Then we've also got a ROI calculator. So again, we'll circulate this as part of the post webinar material, but this allows you to go in, add in your details. So how many site visits you got, what's the average value of a deal, what are your conversion rates, and then link that through to some of the information around industry, sector, all of those kind of things. And it will actually help you understand what your return on investment will be if you were to bring Marketing Hub in to your tech stack, because it will help you understand if you were to tweak certain things based on benchmark and averages, what we can actually get you back if you were to invest in a tool like HubSpot. And then third on the list, so once you know what you need and the return you're going to get out of it, you need to make a business case. So whether you're you are leading the business, or if you are part of the business trying to convince your C-suite that you should be making an investment in this, we've got another template here that you can use to very quickly align your thoughts and present that back into the business as well. And then last but not least, once you've got all that in place, our suggestion is you start to think about how you map your processes. Whether you work with an agency or or directly with HubSpot to implement these, thinking about your processes is a really good place to start, because starting a digital transformation project is a great opportunity to assess how and why you do things in a certain way. So start that process ahead of the implementation process, because it will give you a basis to then work from. There's a handy video that will circulate after this as well, which talks through how we would approach that if we were working with a client. And that's it. Thanks for listening. If you want to chat with a HubSpot expert or about HubSpot, how HubSpot could be tailored for your real estate business, scan that QR code. Again, we'll circulate this all afterwards, and then we can connect you with the right person. We will make some time for some questions. I can see there's a couple of questions that have been asked already. And then the last one, if you are in Toronto, next week on Wednesday, we are hosting a Kickstart HubSpot event where you can test drive HubSpot, bespoke for you, set up by us, at no cost for 30 days. So we'll get it set up, we'll get your data in it, we'll set up your processes, and you can actually test drive it for 30 days with no kind of commitment past that point. Rebecca, thank you very much for kind of feeding into that. And I think, should we jump into some questions? Right. Okay. So where shall we start? Okay, so I've got one here that is: a real estate company needs to get leads from a lot of different places. Although more leads are preferable, manually managing the database can be time-consuming and inefficient. How does HubSpot help with this? Rebecca, do you want to take that one, or shall I take that one?
You can go ahead.
Okay, so HubSpot. So when we are entering data into HubSpot, so it obviously comes from different sources. So we can, if it is being manually entered, what we can do is we can set parameters that have to be completed. So making sure that there's not holes in your data, making sure there's not duplicate data. There's a bunch of tools within HubSpot in the back end that allow us to check for things like duplicate data, but also then making sure that it's being assigned to the right person. So in the video example that Poppy gave, there's a workflow in there that, depending on where the data's come in from, and so the example there was postcodes, which postcode they're coming from, making sure that gets set out to the right person. We can do the same thing for different channels. If there are leads or kind of sources who haven't been spoken to in a certain amount of time, we can re-rotate that to a different person on the team. So that's typically how we would manage some of that data on the back end. We've got another one here. If I'm a property manager using a property management platform to manage my bookings, can I connect my platform to HubSpot? Will doing so help set up campaigns to generate more reviews? Communicating with past clients and getting more reviews is a sore spot. Do you want to take that one, Rebecca, or do you want me to answer that one?
You can go for it.
All right. Yeah, okay. So it's a great question, Rob. Yes, you can connect external tools. So if there's HubSpot has a marketplace, where I think it's like 3,000, 4,000, something like that apps in it now. The number grows at a pretty quick rate. So there's quite often a native integration. So if it is a well-known platform, then we probably have an integration that it would be click and connect. You have to have a subscription to that platform and a subscription to HubSpot, but we can connect it in the middle, and they are quite often free integrations. So that's the first thing. If it doesn't have an integration, then HubSpot has an open API that we are able to integrate a lot of things into. So so you can either have bespoke code. There are third-party platforms as well, like Zapier, so iPaaS platforms, Zapier, Trade.io, Make, those kind of platforms as well. And then we also have a connection platform called Flow Connect, where we have a bunch of integrations. So there's a lot of different ways to connect that into your data. Second part of your question, will doing so help set up campaigns to generate more reviews? Absolutely. So if you've got, so the more data you have in the system about who your customers are and what they're looking for and what they're doing, then we can segment them and nurture them with the right kind of content. So coming back to some of the things that Poppy was showing you, we can make sure that those workflows or sequences and the email content are driving the right people with the right message at the right time. So getting your data into those platforms is absolutely key. Okay, we've got another question. So after getting a lead through a HubSpot form, what are the next steps to successfully transform those leads into a sale? How can HubSpot help for that? Thanks. From Mariana. Do you want to say that one, Rebecca?
Sorry, I just like realized that all the Q&A answers were in this Q&A box here. I was looking at the chat. So, okay, after getting a lead through a HubSpot form, what are the next steps to successfully transform those leads into a sale? How can HubSpot help for that? I would say that workflows, any automation process would be your best bet here. Really how the workflows process works is based on specific triggers, we can go ahead and action some subsequent steps here. So if a lead comes through a HubSpot form, that would be your trigger there. We can then go ahead and use a workflow to set up an action where the next steps would be to create a deal. We can then go ahead and assign that deal to a specific owner. So the owner will be informed that the deal has been set up for them in a specific pipeline. So really using the workflow tool and really automating that process from lead to deal within the pipeline. Anything that I'm missing there, Rich, that you would add to that?
No, I think you've covered that pretty well. Yeah, I think you've nailed that. I would say, so there's another question, and I think it's probably a good one for you, but I'm happy to jump into it as well. But how do you get a team to actually adopt these tools from a sales process alongside the day-to-day roles? I think this is one of the questions we get asked a lot in a sales process, and I'm guessing it's one that you are helping customers with an awful lot as well.
Absolutely. Adoption is always a hot topic, especially within a sales org, just because sales reps want to do the least amount of work as possible, which we totally understand. Adoption is tricky. I think for myself as a CSM, I really have to tackle that on a case-by-case basis. Every account that I work with operates a little bit differently. So that's a little bit more like a bespoke tool, or just a bespoke flow rather. I'm curious to know, Rich, how do you tackle adoption issues with your clients?
So we quite often, it very much depends on the team. So how digitally receptive that team is. But if it is a team that is receptive to tools and change, then we will quite often team training, but helping them understand how it's going to make their lives easier by achieving quota targets, those kind of things, without making it without adding any more sort of admin. So can we take some of the repetitive tasks away from them? Can we bring more insight, more data, and actually just make it easier for them to do their jobs? If we can paint that picture, great. The other angle that we go quite often is, particularly with a larger team, is we'll use a pilot team or even a pilot individual there. We will set them up, get them working the tools, and basically make them look like a rock star, achieving their numbers, so that the others then have a natural curiosity how they can get to that point as well. Okay, we've got another question. Could you detail how HubSpot's automated workflows can be customized for follow-up process in real estate transactions, such as post-viewing feedback requests or transaction updates? So I would say, sorry, Rebecca, I'll jump in on that one and you can feed in as well. So I would say with that, it very much depends on your processes and what the trigger points look like that and how templated the follow-up responses are. So we can build in elements into the CRM, so you can add like, obviously we've got like the personalization elements, but we can also have elements around which property they had. So we could bring in a custom object so that we understand that this is for a particular property and there was a viewing on a specific date. Then we can use that to trigger an email that follows up saying, how was it? Have you got any feedback? If you are using a review site, for example, we could then encourage them to fill in that. We do have, so we didn't go into the Service Hub side of HubSpot as well, but we could even start to have customer satisfaction and NPS scores being sent to them after as well. So all of those things become possible as long as we've got the data to have those trigger points, we can then nurture on from that. So post viewing, you would say, I would imagine you would want an email that's saying, how was it? Have you got any feedback? Is there any interest? You could have several emails going over the next couple of days, also coupled with things like SMS or possibly WhatsApp messaging that's being sent out. And then you might want to say, okay, we're sensing that you don't have any interest in this because you've not come back to us. What about these properties? And start to share them other things. So almost like a classic cross-sell, upsell motion off the back of it too. So there's a lot of things you can do as long as you've got that data and as long as we and the understanding of what it is they're trying to achieve, then we can nurture off the back of that. Anything to add to that, Rebecca?
No, I was just going to pretty much reiterate the same thing. As long as we have the right data, whether or not that exists in native objects, native properties, custom, just ensuring that we have the data in place so that we can go ahead and set out those automations based on specific triggers and subsequent actions.
Okay. And next question, can I build all my reporting in HubSpot, or do we need an additional tool that syncs in and connects with my project management tool as well? Do you want to take that one?
Lots of native reports we can build in HubSpot. To be honest, that functionality keeps growing and growing, so no need to sync with a third-party management tool. However, that is very much possible. Rich, have you had any experiences with your clients where you've had to sync to a third-party project management tool? How
In the
often is
past,
that?
in the past, we have. So like that's typically because they will have external data sets that they want to bring through. So
Right.
maybe some ERP data, things like that, and it'll be pushed up into a data warehouse, and then we're reporting off the back of that. But that's very advanced and kind of cross-tool reporting we need to do. From I would say 95% of our client base, the HubSpot reporting tells them exactly what they need to do, because we can have a helicopter view. So like looking down on the business, the whole GTM strategy from, GTM motion from sales, marketing, and service, looking down on that and seeing the kind of the key takeaways, what opportunities, pipeline, that kind of stuff. But then also having the ability to drill down to individual performance. How often are they on the phones? What are the communication? Are they hitting target? What are our marketing numbers? What are our most effective channels? That's
Right.
super effective, and people can own their own kind of data sets in that and be able to report off of that. What's also super useful as well is particularly where you have an organization where the C-suite aren't engaged in using the CRM on a day-to-day basis, we can automate those reports being sent to them periodically as PDFs straight into their email. So we can actually script. It's so easy and a very, very good way to get them to consume it without giving them the keys to a CRM where they go clicking around and ask all sorts of questions. Final question, does HubSpot have any AI functionality?
I'll let you take that one.
Yes, it does. And it's growing all the time. I think everybody saw the big boom in AI functionality kind of last year and kind of leading in with the expansion of ChatGPT. Where this is coming to its own, particularly in the real estate sector, is so the things like the marketing assets, you can use the AI to help very quickly create landing pages, email content, that kind of stuff. I would recommend, like with all AI, that it becomes an assistant as opposed to replacing the individual doing that. But it allows you to very quickly scope that up, but also using context and research alongside to create that content. And a sales perspective, we also have the same thing. So if you're writing emails to somebody, we can help it kind of build that out. That might be outreach, that might be a response. But my favorite one is where we can use it to summarize the communications that we are having with an individual. So you can go into, so where Poppy showed you the history of a contact record, we can actually get it to summarize what's going on there and summarize big email chains and say, this is what's happening, this is what's being sent. So it's shaving a lot of time off of what's going on with the customers. We do have another question. What would be your HubSpot recommendation for a real estate company to follow? I'm not sure I quite grasp that one. What would be your HubSpot recommendations for a real estate company to follow? Sorry, Mariana, I'm not sure I understand that one. If you want to give that a bit more context, we can answer it. Okay.
Specific tools within the hub, or?
Yeah, or are you talking about learning? So actually, which is a great thing to touch on as well, is the HubSpot Academy. So I think one of the things that sets HubSpot apart from a lot of the competitors in the space is the learning and education that is given for free to the customer base and non-customer base as well, obviously. But you can go in there and it will help teach you the tool set, absolutely, but will also teach you sort of marketing best practice, RevOps best practice, sales best practice. All of these things become possible. And my understanding is it's a lot of different languages now, so it's not just an English data set as well. Yeah, okay. I think that's it in terms of questions. Rebecca, that was fun. Thanks for hanging out.
Very fun. Thank you, Rich. My first webinar ever, so this was exciting.
Nice.
Thank
All
you.
right. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you
Take
later.
care.